Welcome. So let's begin with the very first question for the third part of our CSAT section, and this talks about the vernal window. So basically, it talks about the gap between the spring events, and this has been seen with warmer winters with less snow have a longer lag period. So global warming has caused spring to come early and for longer duration is correct, but the second statement saying that early spring and longer period of spring is not good for bird population, it means it's not good for the health of the bird population is not mentioned. It simply says the birds don't return. So here one only would be the correct answer. Coming on to the next question. A global analysis of nitrogen use efficiency has been done, and this says that the amount of pollution that has been left behind is very much important to understand, but the most important thing it says is that if nitrogen efficiency is improved, then both the food production as well as environment could be protected rather than causing nitrogen pollution in the atmosphere. So A becomes the right option. The next passage question actually talks about the sustainable lifestyle and climate justice as one of the important aspects, and it says that in the next few years will be the years where how resources, technology and regulations are used to support the victims of climate change. So here the main focus is that there are numerous issues of dealing with huge number of climate change victims or the climate refugees, and these issues of dealing with the climate change refugees must be taken into account. So C becomes the right option for this question. Now the next question, you have a question on compound interest. So I can say compound interest when you are trying to find out, it is P into 1 plus R by 100 raised to power n. In the case of S percent, this n is 1. So it's P 1 plus R by 100 raised to power 1. And in the case of R, it is compounded half yearly, so it becomes twice. So P 1 plus R by 100 raised to power 2. So in this case, this value, this amount is higher, but the rate of interest would be less because it is square. Here the rate of interest would be more. So the rate of interest for S would be more than R. So S more than R would be the right option. Clear? So this could be one of the choices, right? So wrongly mentioned here. Okay, so basically one of the choices is less than or equal to, the other is less than. So R is less than S would be the correct answer, or S is greater than R, because as you can see here you have R square and here you have R raised to power 1. So definitely this R value would be smaller. So this R value would be small and this value would be big. So S would be more than R, as simple as that. The next question is, how many natural numbers are there which gives a remainder of 31 when 1186 is divided by these? So 1186 minus 31, first of all I'll do this, so I get 1155. Now I find the factors. So what are the factors? 11, 5, 7 and 3. Now if I take two of them, I should get the number greater than 31 in order to make sure that there is no remainder left. Okay, so I can have 11 into 5, 11 into 7, 11 into 3 and then 7 into 5 as one of the numbers. Okay, then I can have all the four numbers which would again be greater than 31. So these are the four numbers that I can have. I can have one number which is all these four numbers multiplied together. Okay, and then I can have three numbers where four numbers where I can have 3. So these three, then I have these 2 and this 3, and this 2 and this 3. Okay, so 4 such numbers. So 4 plus 4 plus 1. So 4 plus 4 plus 1, that gives you 9. So 9 is the answer for this question. The next is, let PP, QQ, RR be two-digit number where P is less than Q is less than R. This is extremely important to note. Okay, so if PP plus QQ plus RR is equal to TT0, where TT0 is a three-digit number ending with 0. Okay, then I can say, I can write it as PP, QQ, RR. So I can write it as 11 P plus Q plus R. Okay, and this would be equal to 11 P0. Now why I have taken 11 here? It's basically PP. So 10P plus P, which gives me 11P. So tens place, units place, tens place. The same goes with all of them. 11 cancels out. So P plus Q plus R is equal to T0. Now the number of possible values of P can be 5. That's correct, because P is less than Q is less than R, and for Q it can be 6 values. So I have 3-digit number, okay, and P should be less than Q, should be less than R. So P should be up to 5. So 1 to 5 could be the possible values here. 1 to 6 could be the possible values. So the number of possible values for P could be 5 and for Q could be 6. So both of them are correct. So C becomes the right answer. Coming next, what is the sum of all 4-digit numbers less than 2000 formed by digits 1, 2, 3, 4? So what could be the digits? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 3, then 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, then I have 1, 4, 2, 3 and 1, 4, 3, 2. So these are all the digits that I can form. Now since these are the digits I can form, I can simply add those and get the answer. So it gets as 7998. You can simply do the addition, or another way is I can simply take 1200 as the common number, or I can take 600 as the common number. So I can do 600 plus 100x plus 10x plus x. Now what is x? X could be these values, right? Okay, so it would be 2 plus 3 plus 4 multiplied by 2, that is 18. So this would be 600 plus 1800 plus 180 plus 18. I can solve this and get this as answer. So another step to do it. So 7998 would be the answer for this question. The next is, what is the number of selections of 10 consecutive things out of 12 things in a circle which are taken into a clockwise direction? So this circle starts with 1, 2 and so on. So 12. So I pick from 1 to 10. And then I take next one, pick 1 to 10. I take next one, pick 1 to 10. So there can be 12 ways in which it could be done. The next is, if today is Sunday, what day is exactly on the 10 raised to power 10th day? So it's 10 raised to power 10th day that's being asked. So 10 raised to power 1, the remainder is 3. 10 raised to power 2, we get the remainder as 2. 10 raised to power 3, the remainder is 6. 10 raised to power 4, the remainder is 5. 10 raised to power 5, the remainder is 6. 10 raised to power 6, the remainder is 1. Then 10 raised to power 7, again the remainder comes 3. Why it happens? Because you have 7 days, so 6 times it would go and then this pattern would repeat. So 7, 8, 9 and 10. So 8, 9 and 10. So again it would be the 5th day. So if today is Sunday, 5 days on, so that would be the Friday. So I would have 3, 2, 6 and 4 and 5 and 1. Okay, so these are the remainders. I have wrongly written it. 10 raised to 4, the remainder here would be 4. 10 raised to 5, the remainder is 5. And 10 raised to 6, the remainder is 1, right? So what would repeat is the same value for 10 raised to 4 on 10 raised to 10th day. That is 4 as remainder. So when it is 4 as remainder, Sunday after that plus 4, that gives me Thursday. So Thursday becomes the answer here. Sorry for the confusion here. So these are the right remainders. Now, coming on next, there are 3 traffic signals. Now each of them changes color from green to red and red to green. So there are 2 possibilities, green to red, red to green. Okay. So with every case I would take 2 possibilities. So 25 becomes 50, 39 becomes 78 and 60 becomes 120. Okay. Now I take the LCM. When I take the LCM, it gives me 7800. Now I convert, this is in seconds. I convert this value into hours. So first I convert it into minutes, divide by 60 and then again divide by 60. So it gives me 2 hours, 10 minutes. Now at 2 p.m. they turn green together. So what would be the next green? Again add 2 hours 10 minutes. So 2 hours 10 minutes is 410. So 410 becomes the right answer for this question. I hope that makes it clear. Coming on next. Now these are passage based questions again. So sourcing food from non-agricultural land in addition to a cultural land enables a systemic approach to food consumption. Now here the author is trying to say agro-ecological system should be developed along with the conventional agriculture, and that's one of the important contributions for filling out the gaps. And it's again that the tribal community is using the non-farm lands, and for that agro systems if developed could be a good way out. The next is, while awareness or misuse of antibiotics is of common knowledge, the environmental impacts of not treating their waste has not been discussed. So what is necessary? There has to be a proper effluent treatment protocol in place, and then only we can have a systematic way through which the drug resistance bacteria could be actually controlled, or the abuse of antibiotics on the environment could be controlled. The next is the benefits of good quality education. The idea is India needs to become a global power, and for that it must invest in quality universal education. So A becomes the right option. A very simple paragraph talking about the strengths and the importance of school education system. The next is, there are 40 children who are standing in a circle. One of the children actually says that has passed the ring. The ring is passed clockwise. So child 1 passed to child 4, child 2 to 4, 4 to 7, and so on. So what is the pattern? So first child gives it to the second child. So 1 into 2 by 2 plus 1. Okay. The second child gives it to the fourth child. So it is 2 into 3 by 2 plus 1. So the pattern is n into n plus 1 by 2. And that is the basic idea that you need to understand now. 40 children, so 1 round of 40, 1 round of 40, 1 round of 40, and then it would come again. So how much? 121 children. So here 121 and here plus 1. So I remove plus 1 from both the sides. So this is 120 is equal to n upon n into n plus 1 by 2. I solve this and I get n is equal to how much? 15. So my value of n would be how much? 15 in this case. A relatively direct question that has to be taken into account. Now what is the middle term of the sequence? Now this is an interesting problem. Let's assume the very first number as 1, the second is 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and so on. I keep on moving till A. Now I have to find out the middle term of the sequence. So what I do, the formula here is n into n plus 1 by 2, right? So how many numbers would I form? How many letters are there in the alphabet? 26. But I have added one more number. So here I consider how many numbers? 27. So my n is 27. I solve this. N is equal to 27. So 27 into 28 divided by 2. I get how much? I get 378. Now 378 minus 1, because this 1 is to be removed. So 377. Now this 377 would be again equal to 377 by 2 would be again equal to n into n plus 1 by 2. So I approximate it to 190. So 190 would be equal, or I basically do this, okay, and this would be equal to 2, and I get this value as 190. So I calculate n as 19 or 20, midway between those. Now my first group is any number. Z is my second group, third group, fourth group, fifth group, then U, V, W. So V is 6, U is 7. I keep on moving till the 19th one, which is I. So I becomes the right answer, and that's how I find out the sequence for this number. I hope that gets it clear. Now the next question is a very interesting question. P square is greater than Q square. So this is P square is greater than Q square. Now note, if it is a positive number, then it's true, but it's also true for a negative number. Okay. So if I have minus 4, I have 4 greater than 2 square. Okay, 4 square greater than 2 square. Now I can say minus 4 square is also greater than minus 2 square. However, minus 4 is smaller than minus 2. So if I take second statement as correct, then I take first statement. P into Q is greater than 0. Here, if both of them are positive, then it's fine. But what if both of them are negative? Then I cannot actually explain it. So the question cannot be answered even by using both the statements together would be the right answer, because I can have the negative value as well. And if I have a negative value, I cannot say P is greater than Q. In that case, P would be less than Q. This would turn true only when I have positive numbers which are given. If I take into account negative values, then I cannot answer this question. So this question cannot be answered even by using both the statements together. The next question, very very interesting. P minus Q is positive. That means P is greater than Q. P minus R is negative. That means P is less than R. So I can say R is greater than P and P is greater than Q. That means R is greater than Q. Okay. Now from this statement, I can say P plus Q minus R is greater than P minus Q plus R. P cancels out. I can say Q minus R is greater than R minus Q. Okay. Now, if I say R is greater than Q, okay, R is greater than Q, then this number is negative and this number is positive, and I contradict this statement. So if I use both these statements together, I can say that the above statement which is given is incorrect. I can contradict it. Okay, but this I can prove that this is incorrect. However, this would require both the statements together. So both the statements together would be required and cannot be answered by either of the statements. Very very important to note, right? Coming on next is again an interesting problem. Now this is a Venn diagram. So I create the Venn diagram here. This is tea, coffee and milk. Okay, 75% take tea, 60% take coffee, 15% took both tea and coffee. So this region is how much? This region is 15. But there is no one taking milk and tea. So milk and tea is no one. So here 0, here 0. So all 15 within this region. So this region would be how much? This region would be 60. Okay, so far I have the information which is given. Now each person takes at least one of the drink. 50% took milk. I keep the value 50 here. Now it says the number of persons who attended the party is 5 times the number of persons who took milk only. So the total number is 5 times milk only. Right? So let's say if I take milk only as 30, what is my total number? 150. Because it is 5 times, right? So this is 30. Now if this is 30, this is 50, how much is this? This is 20. If this is 20, this is 15, this is 35. So how much is this? This is 25. Now I add up all this. So this gives me 60 plus 15 plus 20 plus 25 plus 30. That gives me 90, 90 and 60. So 90 plus 60, which is 150, right? When I get this as 150 and 5 times 30 is again 150, I can say using both these statements I can prove, but using either of this statement I cannot prove. Okay, how many persons attended the party? So both of these statements are required to prove this answer as correct one. The next is consider a 3-digit number. The sum of the 3-digit number is equal to the product. So let's say I take 1, 2, 3. So I add 1, 2, 3 and I multiply 1, 2, 3. In all cases I get 6. But I have to find only one number. Then I say the number is divisible by the sum of the digits. So the sum of the digits is 6. I write 123 by 6. It's not divisible. I write 132 by 6. It is divisible. I write 312 by 6. It's again divisible. So I cannot find one single number. So even with using both the statements together, I cannot answer this question. So D becomes the right answer. By that is, even if I am using both the digits together, I cannot answer this question because I am having multiple answers as correct. 312 is again divisible by their sum, which is 6. 132 is again divisible by their sum, which is 6. So I cannot say whether the number is 312 or 132, and therefore both of the statements even together cannot answer this question correctly. Now there are 5 children, A, B, C, D and E, which have a difference of 2 years. What is the age of the youngest child? Now age of the eldest child is 3 times. Now when I say age of the eldest child is 3 times, it is 3 times of the youngest one. Okay, so when I say the eldest one is 3 times, what does that mean? If I take this as 2, this is 4, 6, 8 and 12. In this case it is how many times? This is 6 times. But if I want to take it as 3 times, how much would be the value here? 4. So 4, 6, 8, 12, 8, 10 and 12. So if this value is 4, this value is 13. So that is correct. So with first statement I can say the age of the youngest child would be 4 years. Now the average age of the children is 8 years. Now if the average age of the children is 8 years, okay, then again I add up all these values divided by 5, I get average as 8, and then I can find out the youngest as 4 because my mid value is 8 here. So again only with the statement 2 I can answer this question correctly. So either with statement 1 or statement 2 I can answer this question correctly, and therefore the correct answer for this would be B. Either of the statements can help you answer this question. I hope this part was clear, and we'll be proceeding with the final part for your CSAT today. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful evening.